ask the question.
You stayed up for this, right?
I did, yes, of course. I hear some sarcasm.
Go ahead.
I don't like it. I don't like it. How impressed were you last night, Mr. Bayless?
Miss Champion, Mr. Smith, on the no-hitter scale of 10, I'm going to give this one a 9.5. But, Stephen A., I want to be clear about this. In my nearly 10 years of doing this show, we have spoken about many, many no-hitters. And I have often found the no-hitter in baseball to be one of the most overrated, overhyped feats in all of sports. Because clearly, every once in a while, a below-average pitcher can have the luckiest night of his life. And balls are getting smoked left and right, long and short, and they're always right at a fielder. And clearly, hitting a baseball, as many say, is the hardest thing to do in sports. And the greatest hitters have a hard time aiming a ball at a hole or a gap, unless maybe you're the late, great Tony Gwynn or Pete Rose. So most people have a hard enough time just getting good wood on a baseball, let alone trying to figure out where it's going to go. And as Ty Cobb once said, you try to hit them where they ain't, and some nights you hit them where they are. So in this case, I look back at last September. Henderson Alvarez of the Marlins pitched a no-hitter. He's now a career 18-26. He struck out 4 that night, so I give him about a 4 on a scale of 10. Josh Beckett of the Dodgers pitched a no-hitter earlier this year. He struck out 6 and said he didn't really have very good stuff. Okay, I'll give him about a 6 on a scale of 10. But last night, Clayton Kershaw, who just might be the best pitcher in baseball, struck out 15. He was dominating. Curveball, slider, virtually unhittable. So what happened early, there was a ball that Josh Rutledge hit that looked like it was gone and almost fair, but went barely foul. Yep. So that would be one small mark against him. And then Tulowitzki smoked that ball. And obviously Miguel Rojas made a sweet play at third on the catch and the throw across the diamond to get Tulowitzki. So those are 2 balls that could have been trouble. And then Hanley mishandled the one ball that would have cost him the perfect game.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that was terrible. But he does that on occasion, so fairly regularly, too regularly. So big picture, I'm going to go 9.5 because that was a dominating no-hitter, the kind that I often saw Nolan Ryan throw, Randy Johnson throw, Bob Gibson throw, and it was a great exclamation point to what's becoming a great career.
Skip, I'm going to put it up there like a 9.9. I'm telling you right now, it was close to, as far as I'm concerned, if it wasn't for Hanley Ramirez, I don't know if you could top that performance that I saw. I've seen Dwight Gooden. I've seen Ron Guidry. I mean, I've seen these guys do it. David Cone threw one at Yankee Stadium, if I remember correctly. I mean, but David my Wells. Favorite, Skip, my favorite, David Wells as well, but my favorite, Skip, of all time is the one and only Nolan Ryan. Yep. I used to love that man, watching that man pitch. I used to love sitting down with my dad, watching him do his thing. I remember, and I got the date right in front of me, May 1st, 1991. He was pitching for the Texas Rangers. Wasn't a perfect game because he had 2 walks, but he had 16 strikeouts, Skip. And you know how Nolan Ryan is. He threw the heat, boy. And so when he struck you out, it wasn't just that, it was the curveball or the slider was lethal. I mean, he put some heat up in front of your face. Like, what are you going to do about it? And was just fanning dudes for Toronto, blowing them away. And I loved watching it. And so, to me, Nolan Ryan stands out in my mind. But I even have to give Kershaw an edge over him because Nolan Ryan did have 2 walks that game, whereas Kershaw last night, that curveball, the slider, the curveball was just electric. I mean, you saw guys leaning back, being frozen, and just putting their head down, walking to the dugout. Ain't nothing I can say. He got me there. And he was doing that all night long to them, had them feeling that way. It was an absolute sensational performance. And considering the money that he's getting paid, the investment that the Dodgers have made in him, and the way that he is performing, he has answered the bell. And that's what I love about him. I love when big-time players making big-time money step up in big-time ways. You want to be the man? Fine. Here it is. Show me what you got. And that's what he did last night. It was special, bro. It really was. It wasn't like Josh Beckett, because even when Josh Beckett threw his no-hitter in Philadelphia on May 25th, Josh Beckett's been struggling since he got there from Boston. All right? So it was an aberration. And even though you're celebrating the day, you're really celebrating him for that day. Whereas with Kershaw, you were celebrating him, period, because he gives you the impression that he can do that kind of damage continuously, whereas you don't get that impression from Josh Beckett. No disrespect.
So,
because Josh Beckett is a champion.
That night you refer to, May 1st, 1991, guess who was in the press box at Old Arlington Stadium writing a column about the no-hitter?
You were there.
Guess who?
You were there.
I was there. You were not there. I was there, Stephen A., and
you were there.
I thank you for bringing that up.
That's what makes it real.
It's one of those nights I guessed right. I picked the right event to be at, to write a column off of. Nolan Ryan was 44 years of age, and I knew from the first inning the Blue Jays had no shot. He had no hit stuff, as you point out, from the first pitch. I'm saying this is going to be a no-hitter. They're overmatched. That's what I'm talking about, that no-hitter scale. You know, you see him by, you know, a Burley maybe. Mark Burley pitched one, and he's kind of junking, and he's trying to trick them, and it's different. It just has a whole different feel because he's got to be a little bit lucky with where the balls get hit to which fielders. So thank you for bringing that up.
Skip, I was in class at Winston-Salem State University, and that night I watched that game. It was special, bro.
Yeah.
It was special.
Carrie was working at the tennis channel.
I was working at the tennis channel. Yeah, I was actually about 45 at that time. Anyway, after the game, he's such a Kershaw said that he was surreal. The feeling was surreal, and they're looking forward to winning the NL West. Right now, they're 4 games behind the Giants. Oh, you tickle yourself.
You started in '89 at the tennis channel, right?
'89 in the tennis channel. Kevin Durant says sorry.